Hello again, welcome back to our video series on the game Tome. Where we last left off, we were halfway through the Dreadfell dungeon. We'd managed to clear the first 4 floors out of 9 total. And we'd cleared a couple of vaults and had a little bit of a hard time with one of them, so we're going to try to avoid vaults for the rest of the dungeon. It occurs to me that I haven't really been using Greater Weapon Focus since I put points into it, so I'm going to try and move it somewhere where it will be maybe a little more accessible. I am shocked that our escort lived through that. Nature's Touch is a toxic heal, so we'll just heal him up the rest of the damage he took, and hopefully he'll survive until we get to the goal. He actually made it. We don't really need any of these abilities, but we'll take Piercing Sight since we already have a point in Heightened Senses, and it's not really going to help much to put another point into it. A little See Invisible can't hurt, especially in this dungeon. This is instantaneous. Okay, when you have a usage speed instant ability like this, that really is, there's no reason not to use it whenever it comes off cooldown. An interesting thing you can do is set it to auto use. So I'm just going to set this to, wait, no, I don't want to do that because it costs stamina. You know, I'm going to try using this as auto use when available, and if it ends up costing me too much stamina, I'll turn that off. But it isn't doing me much good when it's not actually being used. And it'll be more efficient for the more points we put into it. It's on a pretty long cooldown, but it lasts longer and longer and activates more and more often the more points you add to it. I say as I walk into a room full of skeleton minions. Again, nothing really interesting on this floor. Dreadfell's the kind of dungeon which drags on for a while. It's interesting mostly because it's a challenge. The vaults can make it a very difficult one, sometimes unachievable, so it's best to avoid them on your first few playthroughs, or at least until you've made a trip back to Dreadfell much later in the game. As they're more or less an endgame vault. They'll have top-tier loot, which can include Voratune items and Tier 5 artifacts. Okay, we found an artifact on the floor. It's an interesting one, but I don't think we're gonna... You know what? Actually, I will hold on to this. We have enough light radius. There's no reason not to. Umbraphage adds plus 10 to light radius, so it doesn't matter that we have an item now that's going to take away 2 points. The Mummified Egg Sac of Ungole is a artifact which doesn't have to be equipped, it just has to be carried. It provides a light penalty, but it'll also summon spiders. And the spiders won't do much, but they can eat up hits, basically act as targets for you. Kind of like the tentacle does. But not quite as good because the tentacle has a much shorter cooldown. Found our first brittle ooze. Brittle oozes are... Whoa! What the hell happened there? That was an unfortunate death. Now, thankfully, we have plenty of lives left, so this shouldn't be too big of a deal. But I'd really love to know how we died. I didn't see what hit us, and we basically melted. Now it's dead. That was weird. It died when I was off screen. Every once in a while you'll have a death like that. There'll be no explanation whatsoever for what killed you and how they managed to do it. It looks like I was fighting a doomed enemy, they had some caster shadows up, and I got hit by a lot of AoE damage at once. But I'm not sure how that managed to happen and how I got hit with that much of a magnitude of it. Looks like there might be a vault over here. No, because this whole wall is diggable. This is another thing you'll find in some levels. Part of the dungeon will just not be accessible without digging. I am really noticing how bad my weapon is now. Just not having the best luck in here. Haven't found any chests yet or anything. And as I say that, a chest appears. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll have something nice for our main hand weapons. Doesn't look like. That's a wand. Crap. Okay, this enemy is a Corruptor, and they have some pretty nasty abilities running right now, as well as a Bone Shield. Let's just even the playing field a little bit here. Well, we found 2 Straylight swords. Are either of these... No, neither of these are any good. Wow. That is some bad luck. Okay, we've managed to blunder into a vault here. Hopefully it isn't the wrong decision to go in here, but I'm really hoping we can find a weapon in this vault. Okay, this one isn't too bad. This vault has a kind of minor puzzle element to it, in that when you open the switches, it opens certain doors and closes others. And once you've opened or closed all the switches in the room, a unique enemy will spawn. Oh? Well, here's something. Blade of Distorted Time. Increases physical damage, converts damage to temporal, and increases temporal damage. It's partially based off of magic, though. This isn't a great weapon for us. It's intended for Temple Warden characters. We're going to use it anyway, because anything's going to be doing more damage right now than this Crooked Club is. It's kind of reached the end of its lifespan. And our boss is Kishro the Duathadlen, and he has Precise Strikes, Disrupted by Anti-Magic Forces. He's using arcane abilities but spawned with anti-magic equipment. Hopefully that will come up more often. How many classes does this guy have? Dropped a legendary quality, or excuse me, an artifact hat. That's actually not bad. I'll hold on to that because of the resistances. And I might use it much later. Nothing else really, though. I was kind of hoping for a good one-hander, but I guess not. Now, this rune is nice, and if I was using Dexterity presently, I would probably... You know what? I will hold on to it for when I do pump Dexterity, just in case I don't find another one. Heroism runes, or Heroism infusions, rather, will increase all of your stats by a fixed amount, and will also make it so you won't die when it's active for a certain number of turns, or not a certain number of turns, for a certain amount of health after, which can be a pretty nice effect. Though ideally, you're using the stat boost. Oh my god. That's not something you want to say. None of these are particularly threatening rares, but having 3 on screen at once is a little disconcerting. Looks like we're just about done with this floor, which leaves us with the last floor. The boss of Dreadfell is a vampire necromancer, and he's kind of a rough fight. He has all the abilities of a standard player necromancer, just kind of amped up to 11. He does very high damage. His adds do very high damage. He also has an incredible amount of health, pretty decent resistances. And is overall kind of a nasty guy. has 3,400 hit points, which is more HP than anything we've fought so far. High physical power, spell power, high saving throws, and necromancer abilities. He's a spellcaster. Now, you have to keep in mind, he's a difficult fight. He was the original last boss of the game, so going into this, I have to expect that I have a very high chance to die. He also has very high physical resistance, and almost all my damage is physical. Generally, we want to get him into an area where it's kind of cramped, but not an area where he's going to have a lot of room to summon additional enemies behind me. Somewhere right like this would be about perfect. Why isn't he following? Normally he will follow, so I think I just didn't get aggro from him enough. And that's what I was hoping to avoid. We are going to flee and regroup. Oh crap. This is not really going as well as I'd hoped. Yep, and there's life. Oh boy. As you can see, this fight isn't exactly easy. And this is probably going to be the end of my character. I don't think that there's really any way that I can get out of the situation that I'm in right now. Alright. Let's consider our options. He's not... I guess he is blocking me. Now we can get away. Now, I could have avoided the situation that I was in earlier if I had stuck to my guns and tried to fight him in an optimal location to fight him in. But I pulled him into an area where it was wide open, I didn't really have anywhere to corner him or hide, and as a result, he was able to just freely wail on me for the entire time with all of his minions. A big part of playing Tome is learning how to adapt to negative situations, and yeah, he full heals after you kill him the first time, by the way. Is learning how to learn from your mistakes, basically. Oh boy. Unfortunately, this is just the part of the game where a lot of characters die. And realistically, I probably should have waited until I had a better better weapon to do this. We still managed to kill him. We're not going to have a lot of lives to go into the next part of the game with, but that's okay. We get the Choker of Dread from this, which gives us 100% blindness immunity, but that's pretty much it. I'll hold on to it, but I don't think I'm ever going to have any use for it. The other item we got was the Staff of Absorption, which is a quest item, and it's not really intended to be used. It has kind of bad stats on it at the start. It's because you're not really intended to equip it, and most of the time you'll end up losing it shortly after leaving the dungeon. Looks like we're done, so we're going to use our Rod of Recall to get out. Instead of ending up in the fortress, instead we end up in this ambush surrounded by orcs, and an orc is demanding that we give over the staff that we just found. Instead of doing that, I'm going to attack. I'm blinded right off the bat, and I can't really tell what's going on. When I come back in, I'm looking at a boss orc, and I'm surrounded on all sides by orc warriors. Better spend that class one that I just got to. Now this fight's actually not bad for a bulwark. Most characters will have a lot of trouble doing the ambush because the incoming damage in this fight is absolutely obscene. You get an achievement if you manage to kill the boss, but normally if he kills you, you don't lose a life. But if you kill him and then lose a life, and then die, you will lose a life. So we gotta be careful not to die now, or we'll lose one more of our precious lives, of which we have none left. So our next death will be our final death, unless we can gain another life soon. The archers are the real ones doing the damage here, so I'm going to try and kill them a little quicker if I can. And that's it. Well, our character has died. Oh, I forgot. I have a Blood of Life. That's one extra bonus life, and thank God for that. That's kind of mediocre, but it's better than what we're wearing. Well, we managed to clear the ambush and Dreadfell, but we've only got one life left, so we'll see how long we can take this for. With our last life remaining, I'm going to leave the video at this for now, and I'll pick it back up, and we'll start doing the pre-East preparation, and probably do the first East dungeon, which comes after Dreadfell. Thank you for watching. You have a great day.